What's up, Kenra? It's your brand ambassador, Lo, and I'm so excited to share a really fun to watch tutorial surrounding balayage. We're going to not only put blonde pops in beautiful Carly's hair, we're also going to drop in some lowlights in a balayage technique. So this is going to be a very gratifying one to watch. So let's get started. In analyzing Carly's hair, we are looking at a lot of warm, buttery undertones in her hair. She has really beautiful quality and just really nice texture of hair already. So playing around with the undertones in her hair will be so simple if we use the right formulations. What I'm thinking about doing is keeping her in a nice beige, buttery, soft, fluid, poppy kind of placement. And I know that sounds like a lot of things going on, but my goal with you today is to make it super simple. With putting a highlight and a low light in it with balayage, you can get a little bit overwhelmed with where you're gonna place the color and why. So starting from the top of the crown here, we're gonna come in at an angle to the temple here and then come again just behind the ear. And it's gonna create a triangle section. We're gonna do this on both right and left side, and we're just gonna put this away. This will become our interior anchor color for our low light. Now we have these two triangle sections here in the front and top. This is where we're going to balayage. So it's gonna keep us really nice and clean. Everything that we're going to be blonding is going to be bridging her natural to her pre-existing color and just building the color and building the lift. And then having this for the interior depth keeps us really nice and clear on how we're gonna lay the color down. I like to start my balayage from bottom to top. It's just way cleaner. So I like to comb the little baby hairs out of the way. With clients like Carly that have just like luscious long hair, it's easy to get overwhelmed with balayage. And it's even easier to get a cluttered vision of what your pattern's gonna look like when you're integrating a low light in. So I am just going to give you all the permission to just keep it so simple and do larger sections because you're working on more hair. I'm just gliding the lightener down, making it nice and saturated without pushing the product deep into the section. I'm holding each section nice and taut so that the color stays where I place it. Now that I've laid this lightener on, I'm just gonna switch over to the other side of Carly's head before I drop down the low light section so I can quickly move to the top two sections. Now I'm ready to work on this triangle section. We have quite a bit of hair in this section. I'm going to be standing behind her shoulders to make sure that the hair that I work on just drapes just behind her so that it doesn't buckle or lose shape as it develops. And I'm thinking of doing a little soft balayage moment here with the lightener and then filling this in with the low light just beyond that point. It's important to make sure that you're working in tandem as you're holding your hair in place because you don't want to work through this whole section with the lightener first and then struggle with the low light. You want to make sure that you're staying grounded with your tension this whole time. We're using a pretty light low light. It's a 7N and 6N mixed equal parts. So this is just to cast a shadow. It's not really to like darken or erase, just to add a little bit more dimension. And then towards the end of this section, I am putting a little bit more of a tip out look with the lightener. You want to make sure you check out what the underneath of the section's doing. Don't want any globby globs down there. I picked up a couple strands here to balayage on top of, and to keep it separate, I'm just gonna lay a foil right over my low light just to be clean. So now looking at this front piece, I'm just gonna bring it up a little higher and then marry it into what we've just created. So I am looking at her hair as an entirety. And as I move through the sections, I'm observing that she has a really good amount of dimension and highlight low lights in through the lower quadrant of her hair. I think a 9 PV or a 9 VM would cancel out any unwanted tones there. So I'm not gonna be over stressed about adding more when we can just deal with the tonality in the shampoo bowl. But what I can say is that we have a real opportunity to add some lowlights in this top crown area. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that with my 7/6N. I'm gonna take big sections just like this, and I'm gonna work the low light into these sections. Unlike this section where I'm bringing the low light all the way through, I don't want to do that in this case, so I'm just going to pop the ends a little bit. That way they relate to the ribbons I'm going to apply right above it. This kind of hair can literally take you over 4 hours, but by approaching it with this minimal design, this could easily be a 2.5-hour appointment versus like a 4-hour and beyond appointment, just because she has so much hair. So I really want to encourage you to try to keep your placements super simple and build your trust with your clients by setting smaller goals. Also, when doing this kind of work, I would like to process it for about 45 minutes to 55 minutes, just to keep that appointment time pretty on point. And the processing time for Lightener kind of hits a cap by that period of time as well. So we will see you for the finish in about 45 to 55 minutes. This is our beautiful results, and I feel so happy to see all of the beige and poppy dimension reintroduced into Carly's hair. And it looks so soft, so effortless. That low light was just so subtle and perfect. You don't have to be afraid of using a low light to add contrast. When you do that, the blonde just pops even more. And so we can see, even though it was like a very minimal, fast approach to long, thick hair, we didn't sacrifice any drama or pop or dimension just to come at this from a minimalistic approach. We did an overall glaze of 9 PV and a shadow root of 5 in to complete this look. So if you love this video and this tutorial and it inspired you, please subscribe to the Kenra Professional YouTube, because you guys, there is so much amazing tutorials to learn from and just to reawaken your skill and inspiration. If you'd love to follow me on my journey, you can find me on Instagram at @low_Wheeler Davis. Mwah.